UN investigators have concluded that not only did Saudi Arabia's leadership have journalist Jamal Khashoggi killed, but the murder was actually premeditated. The more facts that are coming out, at first they were asking questions. Did Saudi Arabia really, the leadership in Saudi Arabia, were they really responsible? Those were the questions that were asked. And the Saudi Arabia comes back, oh no, these are just some low-level folks that actually suffocated this journalist and then dismembered his body. That we didn't have anything to do with that. And we knew it was a lie. I mean, we know how Saudi Arabia is one of the most violent dictatorships on the planet. And we won't pay attention to that. Instead, we want to talk about, Venezuela. Oh, that's terrible what's going on in Venezuela. Or China, the trade. Or Russia, they're hacking our... I don't get this. How is it that, understand this article that I found here, that you found actually, was in the Jurist. Okay, now, who even reads the Jurist? You and I do. We read the Jurist. But the American public doesn't. This is the kind of story that ought to be on the nightly news saying, look, here's what's really going on with Saudi Arabia. What's your take?
Well, it's the same reason a lot of people don't know that, half or more than half, almost all of the 9/11 perpetrators were from Saudi Arabia. The media won't even touch Saudi Arabia. The administrations won't touch them. The Congress won't touch them. And now we have the UN saying, beyond a reasonable doubt, they've been planning this for almost a year. They had a body double. This body double put on his clothes to walk out, to be on camera so they wouldn't see it. But they suffered.
To make it look like
he just walked away.
He just walked away. No, we didn't do it. No, we dismembered his body, but nobody should know about it because he walked away. We still don't
know where his remains are either. Yeah. I mean, they've hidden that, and Saudi Arabia now says, we're having this secret tribunal, so you don't have to extradite our people to Turkey. We're going to handle this ourselves. They're not going to do anything. And now, today, yesterday, whatever it was, we find out, oh, by the way, they want to sell them nuclear technology at the highest levels of the government. Yeah. And part of that, the story has unfolded, is because one of the beneficiaries was a company that actually bailed out Jared Kushner.
Right.
And Kushner's connections to Saudi Arabia needs to be the priority of every investigator in this country.
It's almost like they have adopted Kushner.
Yeah.
He's literally a hero in Saudi Arabia. But let me back up on something. First of all, what I think is just absolutely amazing. Saudi Arabia comes out and they say, oh, well, we're handling this now, okay? What they say is we're having secret trials. A, we can't tell you who's on trial. There's 11 of them, and we can't tell you who they are. B, we can't tell you any kind of connection that they actually had to do with it. And C, what's going to end up happening is they're going to behead these people and say the story's over. And the prince, this disgusting character in charge of the entire royal family, he's going to walk away again, and we're going to continue doing business as if they're our pals. Here's what really gets complicated on this. And it's hard to follow unless you follow these stories. You do. I follow them all the time. Why is it that we even have the U.S. media so concerned about going after these folks? The connection is oil. And here's what I mean. If you have Exxon or Chevron or whoever it is buying oil from Saudi Arabia, they're the ones selling it in the United States. More importantly, they're the ones spending $1 billion a year advertising Exxon and Mobil and Shell, whatever the company is. So all of a sudden, there's this connection. It's this indirect connection that has been written about several times, and I've followed it. It's brilliant in the analysis. That's why media, corporate media, lets these people go. Yeah. I mean, they're the worst of the worst. They are absolutely the worst of the worst criminal dictators in the world. And we got Israel there. Israel is our best ally over there. We don't have a better ally than Israel. And so, but nevertheless, we say, well, yeah, we're going to arm these folks with nuclear weapons more and more.
Right, and we're already selling them. They're one of the top contractors for the defense industry here, and that's another reason why we're so friendly with them and why the media is.
I miss that. Talk about it.
Because we're selling billions of dollars of weapons to them, and then, another story from just the last week, we find out that Saudi Arabia is then taking these And they're selling them to ISIS.
Yeah.
They're selling them to terrorists, actual terrorists in Yemen, in Syria, and they're violating.
I didn't see that story.
Yeah, this was a major one. I did a video on it about a week ago. But again, that's what happens is these stories come out. Independent news organization uncovers this. They report it. That's where I'm looking for stories, and I talk about it. But then it's gone.
Okay, let's tease that out a little bit. The arms industry. Okay. And we've talked about this before. The arms industry advertising on like MSNBC, they do it for access. Okay,
Yeah.
They do it for access. I doubt you're going to go out and buy a Bell helicopter. Okay, but they advertise on MSNBC to have access, right? Mm-hmm. So you're saying the arms industry is making a killing literally off of Saudi Arabia. That's been going on a long time. So then we visit that on how does it affect corporate media. I don't even call it mainstream. It's not mainstream. People are cutting cables at record numbers right now because they see the same thing. But we can't get these stories out because the oil industry and the weapons industry have such a huge control of advertising dollars in the U.S. So
And you know, one thing, I brought this up in a segment I did, but I have not seen anybody in corporate media ask this question of, you know, if we are trying to sell these nuclear technology to Saudi Arabia, which they claim it's for nuclear power plants, why on earth would a country as rich in fossil fuels as Saudi Arabia, that's never shown any regard for renewable energy, why would they have any interest in nuclear power plants? The answer is they don't.
Yeah.
They want nuclear weapons tech, but nobody wants to ask that simple question.